Hey everyone, welcome. I'm an emerging writer, and this is my debut love story called When the Sky Falls to the Land. In this story, Sky stands for Sora, and Land stands for Riku. It explores what happens when two completely opposite worlds collide in the most unexpected way. If you enjoy this narration, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to stay connected. Don't forget to drop a comment saying Chapter 2 if you want the next part released soon. Let's begin. When the Sky Falls to the Land, Chapter 1. The prey in the neon light. Inside the suffocating heat of the city's most popular gay club, neon lights bled into the darkness, and the heavy bass pulsed through the floorboards like a slow, unnatural heartbeat. To anyone watching, 27-year-old Sora looked like he belonged there. His striking snow-white hair caught the sharp glare of the strobe lights, giving him an ethereal edge as he moved through the crowd. Charismatic and effortless, Sora possessed a dangerous charm, the kind that could win over a stranger in seconds with just a flash of a warm smile. But beneath that friendly surface lived a cold, brutal soul. Sora wasn't here to dance, nor was he looking for love. He wasn't gay, and his heart remained completely unattached. To him, this crowded room was strictly business. He was a master manipulator and a drug dealer, and every person in this club was either a customer or a mark. His sharp, calculating eyes swept past the dancing bodies, filtering out the regulars until his gaze locked onto a secluded booth tucked deep into the shadows. There sat Riku. At barely 22, Riku looked extraordinarily young, innocent, and fragile. While the club vibrated with reckless energy around him, Riku sat frozen, staring blankly into a half-empty glass of whiskey. A profound, heavy sorrow hung over his shoulders, a quiet, devastating grief that isolated him from the rest of the world. Riku hadn't come here to party. He had come to drown out a life that felt completely shattered. His wealthy family had recently discovered he was gay, turning his home into a nightmare filled with cold hatred, even from his own older brother. To make matters worse, the only boy Riku had ever dared to trust, his first real boyfriend, had simply used him and vanished without a trace. Utterly abandoned, with no close friends to confide in, Riku usually hid away in solitude, but tonight, the unbearable weight of his loneliness had driven him into the city, searching for an escape he couldn't find. In Riku's quiet, sorrowful face, an ordinary person would see a heartbroken boy who needed saving. But Sora only saw gold. A broken, lonely kid from a wealthy family with zero support system was the easiest target in the city. A slow, dangerous smile curved at the corner of Sora's lips. He smoothed down his leather jacket and began weaving through the crowded floor, stepping out of the shadows and heading straight for Riku's booth. When Sora reached the booth, he stood right beside Riku, expecting the usual reaction: a startled glance, a flattering blush, or an admiring look at his striking white hair. But Riku didn't even lift his head. He remained frozen, staring blankly into his glass, as if the rest of the world had completely ceased to exist. A sharp sting of annoyance pricked at Sora's ego. Nothing like this had ever happened to him before. In a club like this, people practically begged for his attention. He was used to being the center of gravity wherever he walked. Yet this boy hadn't even acknowledged his presence. To Sora, it felt like an outright insult. As Sora stood there, his eyes caught the glow of a smartphone resting on the table next to Riku's hand. The instantly put the pieces together. Family trouble, he noted silently. He's running away from home. Taking a subtle breath to mask his irritation, Sora took the initiative to break the silence. Your mom seems pretty worried, Sora said, his voice smooth and welcoming. You're not going to answer? For the first time, Riku slowly raised his head. Their eyes met in a long, quiet moment of contact. But as Sora looked into Riku's gaze, he was caught completely off guard. There was no recognition in Riku's eyes, no spark of interest. It was as if Riku was staring right through him, treating him like phantom air. She's not my concern right now, Riku murmured softly, his tone flat and hollow. Without waiting for a reply, Riku picked up his glass and drained the whiskey in one quick, desperate gulp, setting the empty glass back on the table before returning his gaze right back to it. Sora felt a cold chill. He looked at me, but it was like I didn't even exist to him. Sora realized immediately this mark was gonna be much harder to crack than the others. You look like you're carrying a heavy weight, Sora said, leaning slightly closer and slipping into his charismatic persona. I can make that pain go away, you know? Riku blinked, looking back at him with faint skepticism. Oh yeah? How could you possibly fix my problems? You don't even know why I'm upset. I just know, Sora replied with a confident, effortless smile. I've spent a long time learning how to read people. Riku let out a breath that sounded like a quiet, bitter laugh. Well, maybe you read that right. I am troubled. Then let me help, Sora offered, his voice dropping into a comforting whisper. I can give you something that will make you forget everything. Just for tonight. You can finally rest. How? Riku asked softly. Sora reached into his leather jacket, pulled out a small, clear plastic pouch containing tiny pills, and gently slid it across the table toward Riku. Riku stared down at the small packet for a long, quiet moment. He picked it up, inspected it, and then pushed it right back across the wood toward Sora. I don't do drugs, Riku said quietly, shaking his head. Sora didn't push. Instead, he smiled gently, picked up the packet, and slipped it directly into Riku's jacket pocket. Consider it a gift, Sora murmured smoothly. I just hate seeing someone as genuine as you hurting like this. Keep it, just in case. Without another word, Sora turned and walked away, melting back into the neon-lit crowd. From a dark corner near the bar, Sora kept a sharp eye on the booth. Riku sat motionless for several minutes, pulling the tiny pouch out of his pocket and staring at it in his palm, torn in deep conflict. Eventually, Riku stood up, squeezed the packet tight in his fist, and navigated his way toward the restrooms. Sora considered following him to push his luck, but he held back. Patience was a hunter's greatest tool. A few minutes passed before the restroom door opened. Riku stepped back out into the club, but something about him had completely shifted. His posture was lighter, his eyes slightly glazed over with a soft, distant haze, and the heavy sorrow that had weighed down his shoulders seemed momentarily wiped clean. Watching from afar, a cold, triumphant smirk spread across Sora's face. The trap was set, and the prey had taken the bait. And that brings Chapter 1 to a close, for now. But what really went down between Sora and Riku after the drugs took effect? If you want to uncover the truth in Chapter 2, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment down below. I'll be bringing you Chapter 2 very soon, so Until then, take care, stay tuned, and thank you for watching.